How's it going? Welcome back out to the McKenzie River. I'm about shin deep in it, not quite up to the knees. Pardon with me while I do some reaching here throughout the video. Buccaneer Bay Rum. So good. I've used it at least 5 times. This was sent to me for review by Andy Amaya at the Wet Shaving Store. This is a Wet Shaving Store exclusive, available only there. The artisan, the perfumer, is Shannon at Elysian Soaps. You may remember her from a live interview that I did. She's absolutely an amazing perfumer, and she has an amazing nose. I owned 5 or 6 full-size bottles of EDP from her. Another, 5 or 10 sample-size bottles. And to be totally honest, you may have seen on social media that the Wet Shaving Store, Andy Amaya, a friend of mine, so total dog in the fight. I didn't pay for the soap and splash. And the owner of the Wet Shaving Store, I do consider a friend of mine. When he first reached out asking if he could send a Bay Rum to the channel, my expectations were low. And the reason why is because outside of Phoenix Arts and Accoutrements, a lot of Bay Rums are too spicy and too clovey, and thereby I don't like them. I own a ton of Bay Rums, 2 that I need to get rid of that I've had forever, and I just never reached for them. And so when I first said yes, I had low expectations. The day that it came in the mail a few weeks ago, I immediately, after applying it to the back of my hand, right here is where I have it right now, after applying it to the back of my hand, texted Andy, and I said something to that effect right there, of that's not word for word what I said to him. He left out a few choice 4-letter words because I was pleasantly blown away by just how much I liked it. If you're familiar with my content, the family fragrance score, the Ice Tube 2.0. This is a mentholated pre-shave from Phoenix Arts and Accoutrements. I'm going heavy with it. I am standing in the summer sun. Today is July 10th, Thursday. This drops tomorrow, Friday, July 11th. And I'm going to go heavy with it for the menthol. This is a tallow-based soap. I'll put the ingredients right up there. It is a different base than what was in I'm going to slaughter the pronunciations. I appreciate this release because it's something I can pronounce and enunciate. Buccaneer Bay Rum. But El Mágico, what was the El Aqua or whatever that one was? That was the Aqua Velva cool water type fragrance. And then El Gavilan. Public education at its finest. I should have taken Spanish, but instead I took Deutsch. Ich spreche Sie Deutsch, ich spreche nicht sehr gut. I do speak redneck though. Okay, so we're up yonder here on that there river. Buccaneer Bay Rum, different base. I forgot where I was going there for a second. How you doing? Tobin, McKenzie River, Pacific Northwest, USA. Oregon. Don't ever call it that. It's Oregon. Oregon. Buccaneer Bay Rum. Did I show you the pour? Yes, I did. I was testing it. I haven't scooped yet. That's why I grabbed my soap. That's the real reason. I thought the broadsword from Ian Lagaki, aka Last Shadow, here on YouTube would be fitting for a Buccaneer soap set. This fragrance, family fragrance score, I mentioned that a second ago. I didn't forget. Simmer down. I did not forget. I might need a little bit more than that once I start smearing it in my Captain's Choice Bowl, which is so fitting. My wife and I easily, no joke, give this a 10. My wife she doesn't dislike bay rums, but she's not a big fan of bay rums. Most of the bay rums that I love, that you've seen here on the channel, or that you're familiar with, whether it's Boomtown Bay Rum, my wife does like, Pineapple Bay Rum, Coconut Lime Bay Rum, my wife does like those. But she doesn't love those. With 1 being I hate it, 5 being I like it, 10 being I love it, my wife gives it a 10. I would easily give this a 10. This is modern yet nostalgic. I should have never doubted Andy and Shannon when he first asked, but there are so many bay rums, and outside of Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements, I would not recommend a bay rum. I'm not going to profit from the sale of this. I could tell you right now that I didn't like this fragrance, and Andy would still send me another one. And there's other products that I could recommend to you from the wet shaving store. So I'm not just saying that. My wife gives it a 10. I would give it a 10. Now, Emily, that's our 17-year-old daughter. She's a tougher sale. She does not like bay rums. And if you're familiar with my content, she equates bay rum, and I don't get this, but that's the cool thing about fragrances and the way they work. She equates the smell of bay rum to like a Home Depot or a Lowe's, a garden home improvement center. I don't get it, but that's what she says. So this one, I wasn't expecting her to like it. She doesn't really like it. You shouldn't hold too much credence, though, with Emily's opinion of this. Emily only gives it a 3, which I just dropped my spray bottle into the river, which, is actually a pretty good score, because most bay rums, she only gives a 1. Now, there's a lot of bay rums that she does like, but to me, those aren't true bay rums, whether it's Blue Moon Bay Rum, Bay Gum, or some of the seasonal releases from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. They're not true bay rums. This is a true bay rum, but at the same time being modern and nostalgic. As I start getting ready to whip this up, I put a few sprays of water on top of my soap that I scooped. Over here, to your right, my left, I have my Bass Pro Shop stool. You'll see that in the B-roll, a 360 of my surroundings. Yes, I'm really standing in a river, and it feels amazing. And then I've got this giant rock that I'm using as a secondary stool. Usually I use 2 stools. Today I'm just using 1 and this giant rock. So soaking in my stainless steel bowl here, I have a Finest Badger. Didn't pay for this either. Won't profit from the sale of it. Black and white handle from Frank's Shaving. Now with his stuff, again, I won't profit from the sale, but if you use my code at checkout, you'll save 20% off your entire purchase, and that includes clearance items. So anything and everything site-wide, 20% off, courtesy of Frank's Shaving. And I love every brush that I've ever tried from his, and I've tried a lot now. This is a great 2-band with a 22 millimeter fan, is what you call the shape of the knot there. I forget the loft. It's roughly 53-ish, 55 looking at it. Shake out the last little bit of water there. It's still pretty wet. Lime is the first note that I'm greeted with this fragrance. Sharp and vivid. It opens the fragrance with an immediacy. Right after the lime, pineapple. Tropical, sweet. I don't know what Shannon, the perfumer, used in creating this fragrance, but in the opening, I almost get this like touch of citric acidity, to where like it almost feels real. And like, actually, there's a giant dragonfly right here. Hopefully it comes into the screen for you guys. But the pineapple, every note in this fragrance, with the exception of a couple I'll talk about here in a moment, I can detect at one point or another during the dry down of this fragrance. After the pineapple is orange. It's a great bridge note between that lime, the pineapple, and the coconut that follows. It's smoother than the lime, but warmer than the pineapple. And it really does a great job of rounding out the citrus notes at the top of this fragrance. There's a great rapid right here in front of me. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's about 7 p.m. on Thursday the 10th. Did I already say that? This drops, the fragrance, Buccaneer Bay Rum, drops tomorrow, July 10th. I wrote down here on my bullet points, got you set up on the tripod. There's a 50 milliliter EDP. Now that leads me into, before we talk about the coconut, the only negative that I would give this fragrance is that I wish it were stronger. Now that's good in a lot of ways because you can always apply more. I really want to pick up the EDP of this because I feel like in the EDP I will get what I want, and that is a stronger projection from the fragrance. The fragrance lasts as long as I would expect it to last, and that's a good 6 to 8 hours on the skin. The scent strength off the tub is about, the soap is about a 4. When I whip it up like it is now, 3.5 to a 4. It stays pretty constant with the soap. I always say soap is a horrible medium for judging a fragrance. The splash, the scent strength though, it's about a 3.5 to a 4. The projection, how far away you can smell it from the body, is about a 4. Sillage, I don't really know. I can't say. I can't speak to that. But it will last on the skin a good 6 to 8 hours on the back of my hand and on my face. And my wife absolutely loves this. This may be my new favorite bay rum, and it's absolutely my wife's favorite bay rum. So the sweet coconut, that's how they have it listed. Never does this fragrance come across as syrupy or over sugary. I don't even know how much I would agree with the sweet coconut, but there is a coconut to this, and it's fantastic. This is like one of the ultimate summer fragrances, and what's cool about it is that it's a bay rum. So the top notes, the lime, pineapple, and orange, bright, invigorating, exactly what you'd expect from a citrus. And the coconut, might be a poor choice of words, almost acts like a sedative. It doesn't just soften the edges, but it envelops them. It's humid, creamy, and nostalgic type of coconut. That not overly powering, no one note, not even this dark rum that we'll talk about at the end of the fragrance here. None of it is ever overpowering. None of it ever outshines the other notes. If you know Shannon, I'm losing my fragrance here. This is just building up huge before I even touch it to the pre-shave. I'm going to show you what I got going on here before it falls into the river. If you know Shannon, she just does killer fragrances. She really does. It's off my hands here. And so it shouldn't be a surprise, though, that this is blended so well. That moves us down into what I consider to be the heart, and that starts with the bay leaf. The middle of this fragrance starts with the bay leaf. Earthy and herbal, giving this overall fragrance structure. I really feel like this is a great first bay rum. If you've never tried bay rum before, this is a good one to start with. And if you're a bay rum lover, the only people I would advise not to buy this one are people who love that overly strong clove. My biggest gripe, my biggest complaint with most bay rums on the market today. Without getting too far into the science or the chemistry behind it, bay leaf and clove smell and register to our brain almost the same. So a lot of times with these fragrances, when you have an artisan add clove on top of bay leaf, you're basically putting clove on top of clove. So just imagine that bay leaf that's already in there as clove, and then when you put clove on top of it, you're just upping that. That doesn't happen with this at all. So if you love that overly clovey, absolutely not appealing to me type of bay rum, you're not going to like this one. But if you've liked any of the ones from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements, or if you are of the school of thought that I am, that too much clove is a bad thing in a bay rum, this is perfect. Next is allspice. So this is one note that I don't like outright pick it out, but I think it's giving it a peppery edge and giving like an overall texture to the heart of this fragrance. Smells so good. I can smell it right now as I'm whipping it up. That sun is starting to set behind a tree. Oh gosh, you can kind of see that now, can't you? No, I'm not really a Boston Red Sox fan. I'm a Major League Baseball fan. I love all 32 teams. Had to think for a second. I was about to say 28, dating myself. Next is the clove. So, like I was just saying a moment ago, I don't outright smell clove. These are both coming through in the heart of this fragrance, coming across as just bay leaf to me and my nose. That dragonfly is still sticking around. Have you guys seen him? It's striking the bay leaf above it a little deeper and anchoring the heart with just a little bit of warmth. This is not a warm fragrance. I would not recommend this bay rum for the dead of winter. This is a light, modern, yet nostalgic type bay rum that is perfect for spring, summer, and fall. So when I say warm, don't think that, oh, this is like cloying or overly heavy, because it's not. No mirror, just using the cell phone screen, and what I'm looking at right now, from what I can see, is beautiful. Gorgeous. If you like bay rums, though, I really think that this is a must. With that one exception. If you're one of those people who think that at boatload, keeping it family friendly, that a boatload of clove is necessary in a bay rum, then you'll probably be disappointed in this one. But I still think that even if that's you, that there's a lot to celebrate in this fragrance. Tobacco. It's like a cured, mellow, smooth tobacco. I really, really want to try the EDP of this. Gorgeous. Look at that. Brought with me the Merkur 37C. That is a slant razor made in Germany with a first use Bolzano blade. One of my absolute go-to blades. I love the Bolzanos. Those are now made in Egypt. They have Italian roots. First use. Look at that. With that tree. What's next? Dark rum. Warm, slightly sweet. I've said before, I'm not a big fan of strong spirit type fragrances, like, you know, whiskey, grain, alcohol, whatever you want to call it, type notes in a fragrance. Not when they are too strong. This is just boozy enough to loosen the edges up above it. It doesn't dominate, nor does any note in this fragrance dominate at any one point, like I believe I already said. menthol in this pre-shave. Feels so good as I rake that razor down my skin. How's the audio? I got the microphone on the tripod. Hope you guys are all doing well. I can't complain. I'm gonna rinse this in the river. That's handy dandy. Set this back over here. Maybe. I'll set it on that big rock. Once again, with Frank's Tobin at checkout. That's the discount code. There's also a link in the description that will automatically apply it for you. So there's 3 notes that are what I want to kind of call a base/accent note in the sales page or on the advertising, because I haven't actually seen the sales page for it yet. It's not available at the time of recording this because the product isn't available to purchase yet. But they mention notes of lavender, leather, and geranium. I never outwardly detect geranium. I never outwardly detect leather or lavender. I really want to experience the EDP of this. I think, though, that they're just adding more contrast, more depth to the fragrance. The only other complaint that I would have of the splash, this is not in the EDP. I'll put the splash ingredients right up there. And so this is the same kind of thing with an alcohol splash. The only thing I would caution if you're going to purchase this is when you first apply it, the first ingredient on the ingredients list is witch hazel. And so if you go to smell it after immediately applying it, so I splash it on the back of my hand here and I bring it straight to my nose, you're going to smell witch hazel. That's not a bad thing, but it's just something to be aware of when you immediately go to smell it. So just like you would with a alcohol splash, where alcohol is the main carrier, just give it a few seconds for that witch hazel to dissipate, and then you'll get the fragrance. But if you smell it immediately, all you're going to smell is witch hazel. Or at least that's all I experience. I love Bolzano blades. I haven't already. I want to again thank Andy for sending this to me. I love this fragrance, you guys. I really do. I love Bay Rums. I've never met a Bay Rum I didn't like. I've just met Bay Rums that I prefer more than other Bay Rums. So don't get me wrong with what I'm saying about the other Bay Rums that might be like too clovey. I still like them. They would just be on the bottom of my list of preferences, or on the bottom of my list of notes that I would recommend. I was almost going to dip down in the river, but I'll just rinse off my rubber band. At home I would rinse off. When I get home, though, I'll rinse out my beard. I tried to put it on my tripod, the arms of my tripod, and I missed. All right, so the splash. I've been drinking this stuff up. Like, I know it doesn't look like a whole lot is gone, but this was filled to the brim when I first got it. Shake the dickens out of it. Is the dickens out yet? Get out of there, Dickens. What are you doing in there? Get out of there. So, like I said, when you first apply it, don't go straight to smell it. All I smell right now is witch hazel. Give it a couple of seconds, then smell it. Killer post shave with this. The post shave feel, it's going to leave your skin feeling hydrated and healthy. Absolutely phenomenal. Exactly what I expect from Shannon at Elysian Soaps. Exactly the kind of product that I would expect from Andy Amaya at the wet shaving store. The post shave is top tier. Tier 1 is what is the word I use for it. The only complaint I would have about the splash is that I wish it was stronger. Other than that, I can't dog this product at all. I can't. It's 4 ounces of soap for what, $22.99 or whatever it is, and then the soap is $19.99 for 4 ounces, and the splash is $22.99 for 100 mils, right? It's freaking killer. It's the little big things, my friends. As always, I'm out here doing these outdoor shaves. You're looking at it. I'm out here by myself. Tried to do this video yesterday. I'll include a little bit of B-roll of yesterday. Yesterday, Athena and Luna, my 2 German Shepherds, and I, we went up the Blue River Reservoir to the lake. We were going to review this. I'll put a couple photos up there from the lake. We were going to review it. We got to playing, doing what dogs and boys do, and the day just got away from us. So I'm back out here today by myself. I would say without any distractions, but I'm the kind of guy that I distract myself. You guys take care. I'll see you next time. Thanks again, Andy, and thanks again, Ming at Frank's Shaving for sending me the brush, the soap and splash. Take care, you guys. So I've been looking in this direction here. There's the tripod. Check out those red roots. Zoom in. Isn't that crazy? That little tree. It's got to be those roots. I haven't touched it, but they look like roots to me. So I only have my one stool out here in the water, and I'll grab all that and bring it over a little closer to me once I get going. Not the stool, but just the gear. I'll be working with that rock right there, I think, is my secondary stool. So I came in from up yonder. Calling that my service rock. Let's pan out to 0.6. If I'm not mistaken, that's got to be McKinsey lavender right there. The place that I've done a lot of my shave videos from is up and around the bend. So did I talk about it during the shave? It's a confluence when 2 rivers come together, right? What do you call it when a river splits to go around an island and then comes right back to itself? It's not a confluence, right? It's certainly not a delta. Maybe it's a confluence. Anyways, the river is rejoining itself right there. And up to the right is where I've done a bunch of my shave videos from. Most recently was North French, Broad Avenue from First Line Shave. And so it's probably 2 or 3 miles up the road from where I am right now. Just guessing. Not as the crow flies, but as the road travels. The sun's going to make it hard for me to show you, or at least for me to see while showing you. See how it turns up on camera. But if I'm not mistaken, right about there is the lavender fields, just on the other side of that hill where I recorded Lavender Noir from Ariana and Evans. It's little big things, my friends. As I wrap up the B-roll, it's almost 7 p.m. I want to again thank Andy for sending this to me for review. You guys take care, and I'll see you next time.